The moment I stepped into the softly lit cafe, my heart was hammering like I had walked into someone else's life. I kept repeating the lie in my mind, the plan my brother begged me to follow: just go in my place for this blind date, stall her, make sure she doesn't get offended. I can't go, please. I had agreed only because he sounded desperate, but the second I saw her sitting by the window, hair glowing against the warm lights, eyes quietly searching the doorway, as if hoping for someone she had been waiting for her entire life, I felt something inside me shift. I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to feel anything. Yet the air around her felt like a story waiting to happen. And I realized, too late, that stepping into that seat might change more than just an evening. It might change me. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel name right now. Your support gives life to these stories. I walked toward her with footsteps that didn't feel like my own, carrying the weight of a borrowed identity that clung to my conscience. She looked up, and in that split second, the world softened. Her smile wasn't bright or loud, it was gentle, almost shy, the kind of smile that could heal someone without even trying. I sat down, pretending to be calm, pretending to be someone she expected, someone she didn't know wasn't coming. Her name was Aisha, and the moment she spoke, her voice carried the faint tremble of someone trying to be brave after being repeatedly disappointed by life. She told me she rarely went on blind dates, that she only came tonight because her sister pushed her to try again. She had been through heartbreak, heavy, scarring heartbreak, but still carried hope like a small candle in a storm. As she talked, I listened more deeply than I had listened to anyone in years. She told me about her dreams, about the small art studio she wanted to open someday, about how she drew faces she could never forget. I wondered if she would draw mine. And the whole time, I fought the guilt clawing inside my chest. She thought I was my brother, successful, charming, confident. But I wasn't. I was the older brother who failed early, who stayed home after dreams collapsed, who lived quietly in the shadows so no one would notice how much he had crumbled. Still, she kept looking at me like she saw something good in me, something worth knowing. And that scared me. When the evening ended and she softly whispered, "Will we meet again next time?" it felt like life was offering me a door I had no right to open. I nodded, pretending once again, but inside, something broke. I wanted to say yes, not for my brother, but for myself. But I couldn't let someone so genuine walk into a lie. For days after that night, I carried her voice, her smile, her little nervous habits in my mind. I tried to push the thoughts away, reminding myself that she wasn't for me, that she was waiting for someone else, the person I pretended to be. My brother, carefree and irresponsible as he was, laughed when I told him how the date went. He said he wasn't interested anymore, that he had changed his mind. Tell her whatever, he shrugged. It was just a blind date, nothing serious. But it wasn't just anything for me. Her words replayed in my mind like a gentle haunting. Will we meet again next time? I wanted to see her again, to tell her the truth, to see if maybe, just maybe, she saw something in me that wasn't tied to a lie. But fear held me back. Fear that she would hate me. Fear that she would walk away. Fear that I would lose something I never truly had. Eventually, I gathered the courage to meet her. I messaged her from my own number, telling her I had something important to confess. We met at the same cafe, but this time, the world didn't feel soft. It felt heavy, like the beginning of a storm. She sat across from me, confusion in her eyes, probably wondering who I was and why I looked familiar. When I told her everything, my brother, the lie, my guilt, her face fell like a fragile painting cracked down the center. She looked away, hurt, betrayed, disappointed. She finally whispered, "Why would you do that to someone who already has trouble trusting?" Her pain felt sharper than any insult she could have thrown. I apologized, again and again, telling her I never meant to play with her feelings. I told her I didn't even expect to like her, that I didn't expect her to matter, but she did, more than she should have. She didn't say a word after that. She simply stood up and left, leaving behind the faint warmth of her presence and a silence that swallowed me whole. Days turned into weeks. I tried to move on, tried to forget the way her smile made my heart feel alive again. But life has a strange way of circling back to the moments that matter. One evening, while walking home from a part-time job I took just to distract myself, I passed by a small art exhibition. Inside, on a canvas surrounded by dim golden lights, was a sketch of me. Not my brother me. The real me. The version of myself I had shown her without even realizing it. The vulnerability in my eyes, the hesitation in my expression, it was all there, captured beautifully, painfully, and next to the sketch was a small handwritten note, not the person I expected, but the person I remember. My breath caught. She had drawn me. She had seen me. Truly seen me. Before I could think, I turned, and there she was, standing a few steps behind. Her eyes trembled the way they did that first night, full of emotion she didn't want to show. She told me she drew that sketch because even though I lied, something about me felt honest, raw, and human. She said she wasn't angry anymore, just confused about why someone like me would hide behind someone else's name. I told her the truth of my failure, my self-doubt, how I always felt like the forgotten, less successful brother. She listened the same way I once listened to her, with patient sincerity. She didn't forgive me instantly. She didn't smile right away. But she didn't walk away either. She said maybe trust wasn't a door that slammed shut, maybe it was one that opened slowly, carefully, one small inch at a time. And as we stood there among her art, surrounded by faces she didn't forget, she asked again, not with the same tone, but with a softer, cautious hope, if maybe we could start fresh. Not as replacement identities. Not as broken versions of ourselves. But simply as two people willing to try.